ago, I think. So,
Oh, you just came here like a week ago.
Yes, like a week ago.
Oh, okay.
Добрий день. I'm now at the. I just met a Ukrainian girl who just escaped from the war from Ukraine, and she has successfully made her way to Australia. And so, firstly, can I have your name?
Marta. My name is Marta.
Marta. And I think you can speak Chinese, right? Because like you've been learning Chinese for 4 years in university in Ukraine. Yeah. So can you firstly can you introduce a little bit about yourself in Chinese, if you can do it?
好，我叫 Marta，我在基辅大学学习汉语，我学习汉语学习4年，是啊，我要在苏州大学学习，但是由于病毒，我没有机会去那儿，但是我还希望去中国，我希望experience.
Yeah, have the experience. Like hope one day.
I forgot the word.
希望有一天中国能够敞开它的大门。
中国的文化是啊，所以我也学习阿拉伯语，我去埃及在那儿学习，是啊。我没有用汉语说话，所以现在我会有问题，我会忘记生词，这样的事。
Yeah, just like for a language, if you can't get a chance to use it very often, as time goes by, you just forget. Yeah, I try to like in the last few years, as you can say, I can speak like Privet, Yakslavy. I've been trying to learning some Ukrainian phrases as well. But because here is Australia and I don't have many Ukrainian friends around me, so yeah, I can't practice the language very often.
We can do a language exchange. You can talk.
Yeah, like we
Chinese.
should talk to each other more often. And you practice Chinese, I practice like Ukrainian, Russian, or whatever. You just for sure. Yeah. So yeah. So first, Margaret, right?
Marta.
Marta. Yeah.
我的 Chinese 朋友，他给我汉语中文名字，他叫我美丽。
美丽
yeah.
美丽 which means beautiful. Beauty.
No, 美丽是
美丽. So 美丽. Yeah,
it's like more comfortable because I know Marta.
Yeah, I'll say Marta. I'll keep Marta.
Marta,
Yeah, I
yes.
need to practice more. Yeah, Ukrainian names. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Firstly, thanks for the happy introduction. But I know, as we all know, like what has been going between Russia and Ukraine, and we all know there is a war, and the war has been happening for more than 100 days right now. So and Marta, as a Ukrainian refugee who just arrived in Australia, if the experience does not hurt you too much, would you mind to just share some experience about how you make your way to Australia? Like how do you get the visa, and how did you get on the airplane, and how have you been successfully settling down in Australia and stuff like that?
Like honestly, I'm a lucky one because I have an aunt there, and she has been living in Australia for 30 years, I guess. So it wasn't that hard for me because she helped me a lot, obviously. Yes, but I think for people who like doesn't have anyone in Australia, it can be pretty tough. But actually, thanks to Australian government, now they think, maybe I'm mistaken, there are no restrictions right now. You don't have to do some medical.
Yeah, so as part of the common visa requirement of coming to Australia, you need to a medical examination to prove you are a health person to come to Australia.
Yes, because of Australian policy, of course. But right now we actually don't. We have to do that in Australia.
Oh,
but
I see.
usually you have to do it before.
Before you
coming to
came here,
Australia.
same. Yeah.
And now you can just do it in Australia, which is like easier, of course, easier, especially if you're in Ukraine and you can't do.
Yeah, there's no hospital who is running a health examination for people to move overseas right now. But yeah, now as she just said, she can do it in Australia, and Australia government has get rid of pretty much every requirement that stops Ukrainian people coming here. So thumbs up for that.
Yeah, so the process was simplified so much, and thanks to Australian people, Australian government. Plus, there is a certain payment after you get your visa.
Yeah.
After a while, you can get paid. It's like about $400, six or something like that. Of course, you have to wait, but after some time, yeah, you will get paid until you get a job. So of course, when you get a job, the payment is reduced, and then at some point, again, if I'm not mistaken, they can take your payment because like you have a job now.
I
So based
see.
on your
So basically anyone in Ukraine who can pay for that visa will get the visa. There's no other requirement, restrictions.
yes. So considering restrictions, they are none, I would say, but the price for a ticket. The price for a ticket is obviously a big problem.
Yeah.
Because prices are very high, plus the road, Australia is another continent, and it's far from every country.
Yeah, Australia is far away from the rest of the
From
world.
the rest of the world, yes. Australia like has its own little world.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah.
it's the biggest problem, I would say. And actually, when you're here, you really feel it. It kind of feels like just a little isolated world with its own people, its own mentality, and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yes, I agree. Australia is actually very different from the
Yes.
rest of the world in
Very
terms
different.
of really everything. So how long it takes you flying from Ukraine to Australia?
You can't fly from Ukraine, of course, right now. So my first destination was Prague. Then it was Germany, from Prague to Germany.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and I waited alone in Germany for about 7 or 8 hours until my next flight to Phuket. And then from Thailand, from Phuket, you go to Australia. And of course, there are a lot of waiting between flights.
Yeah, between the flights.
Yes, like usually it's 6
6
to 9 hours. You have to wait because like the flight is very long, and if there is a problem, of course, it must be like longer than usually when you travel like through Europe or something. So yes, the flight is really hard.
So in total, it takes you like maybe 4 days or 5 days coming to Australia.
No, actually 2 days. It was
2
2
days.
days just
Oh, not
to
too
come
bad.
here. Yes.
But you have made like 3 transfers, right?
3 transfers.
Until you get to Sydney.
Yes, different countries, and it just so hard.
It just sounds so exhausting. I mean, like for me, like say for example, flying from Guangzhou, which is like the 3rd biggest city in China, from Guangzhou to Sydney, that takes about 10 hours, and that flight could already get me exhausted. It's just 10 hours flight, and for you, you have to travel along for 2 days and waiting in 3 different airports until you make your way to Australia. I mean, wow, that's a long journey. Yep. So did you come to Australia just by yourself? Or-
Yeah, by myself.
So you are not with your parents or?
My parents are still in Kyiv, but they're in Ukraine right now.
Okay. So they haven't moved to like maybe Poland or anywhere. They are still staying in Kyiv.
They can't because men aren't allowed to leave the country right now, except for the one who studies abroad. Clearly, they can go. The one who has 3 children in the family, you also can go. As a father of 3 children, you can go. But others, they have to be in country because it can be a mobilization or something. I understand the situation. So my father can't leave Ukraine right now, and my mom just, of course, she doesn't want to leave him. So they are.
So she made a decision to stay with your
To
dad.
stay with him, yes. Just like my best friend, She has a boyfriend and they have been together for 3 years right now, and she won't leave him and she will stay with him till the end.
Oh, I see. So basically, if you are a man, unless you have 3 children or you have to study abroad, there's no way for Ukrainian men to leave Ukraine. It's like a law or something.
Yeah. But it's for wartime, it's a usual law, so it's okay.
We need people to fight against the enemy. I totally understand.
So of course you can't leave. But the thing is, right now, as far as I know, our government actually has been working on that problem, because in Ukraine there are a lot of people who want to go to the war. And there are a lot of volunteers, and like our військові адміністрація, they are full of volunteers to fight for our country, and actually a lot of people came back. So a lot of people from abroad, they came back to fight for Ukraine.
Oh wow!
So there is a problem with people. So kinda right now our government has been working on that, and maybe there will be a chance. Plus, you can go like on a diplomatic mission. You can go if you're a sportsman. You can also go. So there are some ways to leave Ukraine if you have a valid reason for that. Of course, you can leave Ukraine. But as a usual person, just to run from the war as a man, you can't.
I see. But considering the situation,
it makes sense.
It makes sense. We need people to, and they are willing to take the fight. They want to fight for Ukraine, so they made their own decision to stay in.
Plus, it's like 25% of our forces are women. So a lot of women,
we have female soldiers.
A lot of female right now fight for our country. So yes, and it's like for me as a woman, it's just unbelievable, and we're so grateful to everyone, every soldier in Ukraine who give us an opportunity to actually live our life, to actually enjoy it.
Wow. I mean, what a great country with great people. They fight for their own land, and they regard love over like everything else. Even if there's a war, the country is in danger. And for example, we have this beautiful lady, and her mom decided to just stay with her dad, and I think your best friend, she also made a decision to stay with her boyfriend. They are all staying in Ukraine. Amazing. Thumbs up for that. So one more last question. So since you are in Australia already and you are on like some sort of refugee visa, I think that's what, or humanitarian visa, or whatever. So for that visa, I mean, what can you do with that kind of refugee visa in Australia? Like, are you gonna, I don't know, study English in Australia, or what is your plan like for leaving Australia?
To work, of course.
To work? Okay.
Australia is an expensive country.
Tell me about it. Sydney is like horribly expensive. I've been struggling living in Sydney for like every second of my life. I totally understand.
To work, of course, and with visa you can work. So that's what I'm going to do, and it makes perfect sense because, of course, refugees. Like to be honest, well understand the refugees isn't a very good thing for a country in terms of economy, clearly. So of course I understand that my duty is to start work as soon as I can, because I have to like make something up to Australia
just giving back to the community. Really.
Of course, to pay taxes, clearly to pay taxes. So as the moment as I get my visa, of course, I will go to work for my family, for my country, because we can donate to our forces. That's what we do all the time, and for Australia to pay taxes. So clearly, it just work.
And alright. So, but since you are still on visa here as a foreigner, and I think that visa is not really permanent, right? It's not like
3 years.
Oh, 3 years. That's
That's a
long
lot.
enough.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yes, that's really a lot. But I mean, do you reckon, like, as a Ukraine who just escaped from Ukraine, do you believe the war will finish, I don't know, within 3 years or hopefully this year? Can you see when the war will end or not really? Because the war has been happening for such a long time.
No, originally I'm from Donetsk, so yes.
That area has
that
been
area has been
terribly
like
damaged.
8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an area where war has been for 8 years. And after the war started in 2014, after some time I moved to Kyiv. So it's my second time to
to escape from the war.
It's just not a good tradition for me now. So to escape from the war all the time. Yes, and yes. So it has been for 8 years, and right now I hope that war is going to end this year. Of course, that's my biggest dream. It's hard for me even to think that it can last more, because all the news that we see every day.
It's like the war's still going on. Like you see no signs of the war
of course, and I really hope. I hope, but I know the only one thing I know is that Ukrainians, they will fight as long as
fight till the end.
Till the end, yes. Because right now it's not only about saving our country, it's about saving our culture. It's about saving our nation, our language. Because on the occupied territories, Russian soldiers, they have burned our books of Ukrainian history, of Ukrainian language. So right now it's not about us. It's more about our culture, our nation. We are going to die one day, to be honest. But we must save our country. Yeah.
Wow, that's a I don't know, very complicated conversation. But we all see what's going on in the world, and I mean Australian government is apparently doing a good job to help Ukrainian refugees, allowing them.
Australian people also, yes.
It's a friendly opportunity. But in the end, I just want to say, I actually don't know what to say, but I'd like to end with the Ukrainian phrases. Slava Ukraini, may peace come to Ukraine.